beautiful people. We are here today with a very special Indulgent Islander event. I am joined by two Hilton Head Island favorites, Jada Reilley Clark and Thomas Reilley. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So today we are here at Gruby's New York Deli in the Fresh Market Shops in Hilton Head Island. And the reason why we're here today is because we wanted to spotlight some of the sandwiches and soups that they have here at Gruby's. Sandwiches is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I always quote Warren Zevon, who went on the Letterman show, I think it was before he was dying of terminal cancer, and David Letterman was like, what would you like to leave the audience with as kind of like your last words? And he said, enjoy every sandwich. So that's kind of something that I live by, enjoy every sandwich. And from where I'm from, which is northern New Jersey, close to New York City, we have a ton of delis, Italian delis, kosher delis, all that type of stuff. And that's kind of like woven into the fabric of the community. It's like, you know, it's an important place, not just for buying your sandwiches and grabbing lunch, but for me, it was somewhere where I would have, you know, pretty good relationships with the people that owned the delis. And my understanding is that Gruby's is the third oldest family restaurant here in Hilton Head, right? And so obviously we have members of the Reilley family, which is the second oldest restaurant, family-run restaurant group on Hilton Head. So why don't you guys share with us a little bit about, you know, the background, because obviously this history goes way back, and the role and how important it is to have places like Gruby's that have been around for such a long time, feeding not just tourists, but locals for many, many years.
Yeah.
Right. It is nice to have something that's not too new and too shiny, that you don't hold on to those memories that you had, you know, coming in here as a kid. Not to talk about other places, but I think of like Stellini's. If you walk in there, like you get that feeling of, okay, this is how Hilton Head was. We always had that feeling with Jump and Fills.
It's that classic vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like vintage kind of thing.
And so yeah, so they slapped some paint on these walls and cleaned it up and straightened the pictures of the worst team in baseball. But it's still Gruby's. It's the same place we've been coming for years. And for the most part, it's the same people at the counter. I mean, Steven Gruber is at the counter, Brian's back there yelling at guests and coworkers, and it's enjoyable to witness. Gustavo, who used to be just the quiet cashier, we've seen that he's grown into Brian's shoes, and it's just an awesome kind of old school Hilton Head vibe.
It's the familiar faces, right?
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
you see every time you come in. It's like over and over again. Is that I've only been here for about 4.5 years, and prior to that, I would only be down here, you know, once, maybe if I was lucky, twice a year. And I always had the hit list of the places that I was going to go to. And the best part about it was whether I was sitting with you at like chatting at the boardroom or wherever, learning about not just where the tourists like to go, but also, you know, you guys putting me onto where do the locals go.
And not just the familiar faces behind the counter. I just ran into a friend and he said, Thomas, I haven't seen you in forever. And I said, I haven't been here in a while. This is where I see that particular friend. So you got the same customer clientele coming in here, and it's kind of like the barbershop of restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that barbershop vibe. One of the things that I also love here at Gruby's is the soups. Anyone who has a go-to deli, usually in addition to sandwiches, they usually offer a couple of soups. Here at Gruby's, you're gonna get the Gruby's homemade chicken soup. You can get that with golden noodles, which I absolutely love. And you can also get it with a fluffy matzo ball, which Thomas has here.
First matzo ball of my life.
Really?
Yep.
Now,
It's good.
I have to mention the matzo ball soup is known as Jewish penicillin. That's the insider term for, apparently it's a great cure for whatever it is that ails you. Maybe if anybody's under the weather
I'll have
with
another.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm going with the special of today, which is split pea soup, which you probably would find at most kosher delis. It looks delicious.
The split pea is great. I know, that's what I usually get.
That's exactly what you want from a split pea, where it's like, you don't even really know that there's peas in here because it's so blended and such like a creamy soup. Very hearty. Those noodles are great, aren't they?
Yeah, chicken noodle's my favorite, my go-to. I'm not a huge soup girl, but anytime I get soup, Gruby's chicken noodle is like Always consistent, always delicious.
And I think I told you guys before, whether I'm eating here or whether I'm picking up a sandwich to go, I'm getting a sandwich, and I'm usually getting, even if I have it here, I'm usually getting a quart of that golden noodle chicken soup to go.
It is so good.
Like I said, usually I go with the Arthur Avenue, which is basically their Italian. Today I'm mixing it up. I'm going with a couple different things. I'm doing the Brooklyn Bridge, which is roast brisket of beef, lettuce, tomato, onion, and Russian dressing. That looks amazing. And I'm also going with the Long Island Expressway. So it says, "It's late, I'm tired, I can't think of anything else to say about this one, so just eat and enjoy." I love this menu. Black Forest ham, roast beef, Swiss cheese, coleslaw, and Russian dressing. These both look awesome. What did you guys get?
Delicious. I have the French dip. Not usually on the menu, but Gruby's does French Dip Fridays, which
I
is
do remember that.
a
Yes.
classic, delicious, so good. And the fries, the Gruby's like hand-cut homemade fries are the best things ever.
Yeah, Scott was telling me about the fries. I've actually never had one, so I'm going to steal one
Yeah,
of your
you can
fries.
steal
because
one.
He gave me a great sales job on these. What did
So
you get,
good.
Thomas?
Well, I'm going to tell you what I get. I usually go between the Bronx Bomber or the Mardi Gras because they're kind of similar. Corned beef, turkey, bacon, coleslaw, and Russian. But what I actually got is corned beef, roast beef, and turkey on 3 layers of sliced fry with coleslaw Russian dressing. And I don't think it's possible to eat this without a fork and knife. So
You mentioned that you've never eaten it without a fork and knife. And it's funny because we were just talking about John Cranford. He inspired me to come back to try some of these other ones because he posted a hysterical picture on Facebook where he was literally trying to take a bite out of that sandwich. And I don't know how he pulled it off because that thing is massive.
you know John Kramer, he's got a big mouth. And I love him, but
We all do. Let's dig in.
All right.
This rye bread is so fresh.
so they get their rye
Oh, so good.
from New York as well as their bagels come from the Bronx as well. That and the pastrami and their corned beef. So I mean, it's true New York deli.
That's important. The bagels are authentic New York bagels. They're par baked, and then they ship them down here, and they finish them here in the kitchen.
And a lot of that has to do with the water, apparently. That makes a big difference in, the quality of how it comes out. There's a board in Italy that you have to like certify their dough that it has quality enough ingredients to be considered a true, say, Sicilian or whatnot. But you can't just go run the tap and expect the same results.
Right, absolutely. It's important to notice as we're talking about bagels, Gruby's also has breakfast. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. We are probably going to return. I'm probably going to return here to sample some of the breakfast items. So stay tuned for that. And another thing that I thought was really interesting, Scott has access to caviar. So you can actually they do catering. If you want to cater a brunch for your group, whether you're on vacation or whether you're a local and you live here year round, you can cater your brunch from Gruby's, and you actually have the option of adding caviar to the menu, which I think is really cool. Not something that you can commonly find here in Hilton Head, right guys?
Nope, yeah, not a lot of places.
Last time I was here for lunch, I tried the cucumber salad and the mushroom salad, and they were both incredible. The flavors, it might have been basically marinated mushrooms, might have been the best I've ever had. And what's cool about it is, for those of you who are vegetarian or vegan, they have the vegetarian wrap, which I'm sure you could probably also get on a sandwich. They take 3 of their salads, the marinated mushrooms, the artichoke hearts, and the cucumber salad, and they mix that all together with roasted red peppers, lettuce, tomato, onions, and mozzarella cheese. And that's their vegetarian wrap. That sounded really good
That
too.
actually does sound really good.
Even for someone like me who is a meat lover. So I'm assuming, based on the Yankee comment, that you're a Red Sox fan?
Not as, yes. But not the crazy passionate Red Sox fan I was when I was younger. The build up to that 2004 season was big. But when Johnny Damon got traded, I was like, this feels so dirty.
Yeah.
It must have been how the Babe Ruth trade felt.
Not as passionate as you were back.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who like the backup left fielder is.
I can't I just can't be that passionate about the Mets anymore because the story always ends the same way, and I just can't deal with it.
You're the
But
Mets
it's all about
too.
the Mets to be in denial about how the story's going to end.
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I haven't put a dent in this. So what are the different types of New York delis? You say New York, a true New York Italian deli. There's a true New York Jewish deli.
For sure. Yeah. Kosher deli, like
Got any Irish delis up there?
Katz's. Irish deli? That's a good question. There's a few Irish-centric restaurants that have really good sandwiches. One of them that I can think of that has 3 locations in New Jersey is called the Grasshopper. I worked for the Nets basketball team for like 3 years, and that was a very popular like place to go before and sometimes after the games. But then years later, they were on Kitchen Nightmares. And the big thing to get there was the boneless buffalo wings, the boneless tenders, basically. Really plump, thick chicken tenders. They had the very good buffalo sauce. Gordon Ramsay's like back in the kitchen, and he takes one of those stainless steel pans, and it's got the chicken fingers in like radioactive orange liquid that they're sitting in. And I just remember sitting there saying to myself, like, thinking back to how many of those chicken fingers I ate, like before Nets games or like when we went out to lunch when we were at the office and stuff like that. No, it was not a good situation.
I was worried you were going to say it wasn't chicken.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was chicken, but it was chicken that was sitting in a pan in that disgusting chicken juice for way longer than it should have been.
Well, there's an A on the window here, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As I was jokingly saying when we got here today, I was going to title this 2 Jesuit Catholic college graduates walk into a Jewish deli, which I thought was kind of amusing. Regardless, thank you guys very much for joining me, Jada and Thomas. This was an awesome lunch. We all have plenty of leftovers to bring home, which is almost always the case when you come to Gruby's Deli. And I'm gonna keep working my way through this sandwich menu. I'm definitely gonna have to come back and check out the breakfast, which, like I said, I'm gonna report back to you guys on that soon. But thanks to Brian and Scott and everybody here at Gruby's for having us here for lunch today. This was a blast. I really enjoyed talking with you guys. Hopefully we can do more of this stuff in the future. I'd love to. Thanks for bringing the historical context and obviously the restaurant perspective. And that's about it. Thank you guys for joining us, and stay hungry, my friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.